Welcome to Unhinged and On-Call, where the pets are unpredictable, the clients are intense, and the stories are wilder than a Jack Russell on espresso. I'm Chelsea, your resident veterinarian with a front row seat to the chaos.
And I'm Trish, a registered vet tech and expert in surviving the madness with a syringe in one hand and snacks in the other. We're here to share the wonderful, weird, and downright unhinged realities of life in vet med. So grab your stethoscope and maybe a drink, because let's face it, this field will break your heart, heal your soul, and then try to bite you all before lunch.
Buckle up for some chaos and a whole lot of support for the folks riding this emotional roller coaster right along with us, because these vet truck confessions are about to get wild.
Welcome to Unhinged and On-Call. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi.
How's it going?
Great.
Good.
How's your week been?
It's been okay. I feel like, so last time we were coming off Memorial Day, right? That I saw you for this. Well, I've seen you other things, but I don't know what has been in the cosmic microwave the last 2 weeks. I know that I can speak for the people in my immediate circle. So you and family and friends, that literally every person I've talked to has had just crazy shit going on. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either.
But it's been constant
I
for
want
me.
it to be over.
I want it to be over too.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I think it is.
For our listeners' sake, it's not the same for them. But I really feel like something's happening the last couple of weeks. I've had dog medical issues, people medical issues around me, and then just really personal, like stupid shit, like slamming my hand in doors. And
I hurt myself too.
You did? Oh no.
Car door?
Oh no. I was taking the bulldog for a hike on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he's super strong. He's only 10 months old, everybody. So he's still learning. And I should have been more aware of him and what I'm doing. So more aware of my animal, which I usually am very good with that. But of course, it's like a child, like a toddler, the split second.
Yes.
That I don't pay attention to what he's doing versus me.
Yeah.
I was walking out my back door. And I had him all geared up because I was going to put him in the truck and drive him up to Deer Creek Canyon and go hike around.
Wow.
And I had him all geared up. He's going out my back door, and I had my right hand on the door and my left hand was controlling him.
Yeah.
And I was closing the door and he lunged forward in excitement, right?
Yes.
At the same time I'm closing the door. So I don't know if this makes sense, but I was pulling the door closed. And he went forward, which flew my arm in the door faster than I was anticipating.
Oh, yes.
So I fucking slammed my fingers in the door. You can see my bruise, fingernail. But it was one of those things where I'm pretty I've given birth a couple times. I'm tough, right? And for the most part. Yeah, but I stood there and I welled up with tears. And it was I couldn't feel my fingers. I was I broke my hand. My fingers are all three.
All three?
But then it was okay after it took half an hour for it to feel okay. Yeah. And I was driving, all crippled. It'll be okay.
I'm going to take my dog for a hike.
Yeah. Yeah.
This motherfucker.
I know. It was so crazy. But
can I tell you my favorite thing to watch on Reels?
Yes.
The Ring cameras of people getting pulled out their front door. So I wish you had one for your back door. But of the
I do have a ring on the front. Yeah.
On the ring. Yes. Of people going, because most people have steps. And so you see all these people getting pulled by dogs and they just endo. And usually you're holding stuff because you're
doing things. Yeah.
Fucking dogs. Because they see something and they're excited to be going on a walk.
Yeah.
And they literally pull people, grown ass adults over.
I believe it.
Everything. Yeah. And it's a yard sale. And it's my favorite thing to do.
You like to watch people eat shit.
As long as people are okay.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as everyone's okay. Yeah.
I cannot get enough of it.
Oh my God. I didn't even have that much stuff fumbly going on because I knew, he's an old English bulldog. He's going to last maybe 30 minutes. He kind of taps out a little under a mile and a half. And he's I think I'm done now. I don't think I want to go any further. So I only had a few things with me, but
oh my God.
Same dog a week prior. Well, this is kind of a little off topic, but still same animal. I texted you a picture of this.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with you at the same time.
Well, yeah,
we were doing other things for work, but
it's not like a normal dick pic.
No, I was can I send you just a quick picture of my dog's penis? She's yeah, sure. Normal, veterinary people are yeah,
usually it's the horse
penis.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I was was letting her know that I woke up that morning and I was in my kitchen and I looked down at my dog and he was still intact. He's 10 months old at the time. And a urethral prolapse, right? And I looked at it and I was like, okay. And so I was like, can I send this picture of my dog's penis to you, Chelsea? Because I'm a large animal person by nature. So small animal, like
I had
dog
to Google
penises
it.
are way out.
I had to Google it. I didn't really see many bulldogs. in
Yes.
Wisconsin,
And bulldogs
so,
susceptible. Yeah. So I call our our regular veterinarian that I take the dogs to. And they were swamped that day. Like, bless their hearts. They were so amazing. They were still like, oh, you should bring them by and we'll try to take a look and see what we can do. But they were so busy. And I brought him in there. I think it took 3 techs to hold him down. No doctors were available. I know. He's like 53 pounds right now.
Yeah,
so
strong,
he's
though.
decent size and he's very strong. He's muscular. And so they tried to get a picture of it to show a veterinarian there in like a drive-by, walk-by. And they're all usually amazing.
Nice of them.
They tried. They really did. But they came out and they were like, nobody's available. I think you should go.
He needs sedation.
I think you should go somewhere where they can, sedate him and really take a look and see. So shout out to CVSG around the corner from my house. So the Colorado Veterinary Specialty Group. So Dr. Kaufman and her tech Patrick that helped me that day. They were amazing. And it was a urethral prolapse. So we actually had to put him under the next day. She had to suture it. And then we did a neuter in the same day. So Mm-hmm. And then we prolapsed again. Yeah. Later that week after, not by anybody's fault. It just kind of, those things happen. So we had to go back in.
Frequent flyer.
And get some more sutures to keep it in place. And now he's great. So, it just.
What I love about all this is the pet insurance. Like, Trish is so smart. And before she was researching breeders and pet insurance and all that. And we were so organized about it. And so all of this, I think, besides your deductible, is going to be covered.
Most of it. Yeah.
So
they do.
People buy pet insurance early.
Dude, pet insurance, plan ahead.
Yeah, plan ahead.
Research the companies. I put a lot of time.
Because this stuff gets expensive.
Yeah.
And if you have to think about financials on top of scheduling and figuring out where to get them in.
Yeah. And it was my husband's dream dog for his birthdays. He looks at me, he's like, Old English Bulldog. And my tech brain is like, I need all the insurance.
Yeah, all the insurance.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to buy a purebred, brachycephalic dog.
Right.
You need the insurance.
Right. Yep. So we found sweet Arthur. I'll throw his picture up, but Pet's Best. I use Pet's Best. Yeah. Okay. He's got the full gamut of everything. Okay. But
shout out for pet insurance. Horse insurance too.
Horse insurance
Major
too.
medical on horses. Super helpful.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to factor in money as much.
Right. Yeah. It's more upfront, like coughing it up upfront. But at least I've already been, I've been paid back for more than half of it.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah. I'm waiting on one more separate claim for the second day with the other prolapse, but they were pretty quick. So shout out Pet's Best.
Yeah. Okay.
I like him.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that he's now good, right?
For today. Who knows when I get home? Seriously. I'm like, I don't know. My other dog is just a rescue that she's 9.5 years old, Poppy, and I've literally had
she's been so easy.
One emergency surgery.
That's so easy.
Yeah.
That was a giant stick or something?
She was in, right? Yes. Last year. Same hospital helped her, CVSG, shout out again. Yeah. But she jumped off this embankment in our backyard and landed on, I think it was the rose bush.
Yeah.
And impaled her. And it went into her body. The stick itself was not sticking out anymore. It literally went in and then was kind of sticking back out of her skin. So to me, I think I told you this, but when she came inside after it happened, she was alone, comes inside, she sits down next to me and just looks up at me and she's just shaking.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, not even crying, nothing. Yeah. And I looked down and to me, it looked like she freaking like broke a rib and her rib was like
poking
out. Yes, it was the weirdest thing. And we had company over and I looked at everybody and I tried to remain calm. And I was like, this is an emergency. I have to take her over to the veterinary hospital. And I scooped her up and I put her in the car as calm as I could and took her over there. And she had major surgery. They removed partial piece of her lung. And I think if it would have gone, like a couple millimeters more, she would have died. It would have perforated further and killed her.
That is wild.
Yeah. But she's alive and
she's fine. Yeah. That's amazing. Medical marvel.
And
with
Back
all,
on
with all the
insurance.
help.
I was elapsed in my insurance at that time, fully transparent. I did not update a payment information on my previous policy.
Oh, God, I hate
And so I was planning on transitioning anyways and canceling. And I was like, oh, I'll start a new one. Whatever. She literally has never had anything wrong. So I was in my window of not having insurance for a short period of time. And that's when all this happened.
And that's when that happened?
Yeah. She's the
And then we live and learn.
$7,000 dog.
Yeah.
She's alive.
Well, that's a massive surgery.
Yeah, it was huge.
Thoracotomy
Yeah,
was
and she
long.
stayed in hospital for several days. And yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So
Wow.
I know.
Well, now we're all smarter.
I know. Exactly. What was you said you got injured?
Oh, God.
What did you
This
do?
is also animal related. Although I don't think it was my horse's fault, but I'm taking my horse is going out on lease, my 11-year-old warm blood.
Yeah.
And so I have this machine called an equinosis. So it's an analytical lameness tool. And I'm going to blame this on my husband, even though he knows it's not. But my tech was supposed to be with me that day and he stole her. So his tech is out.
I love it.
For the week. And he stole Liz. And
Yeah.
so Liz normally would trot for me. That way I get to watch the horse from behind, trotting, straight lines, do flexions, all that. But with the system, it gives me a readout. So technically I can do the flexions and I can trot him. But I can't watch. Obviously I can't do both.
Right.
Well, I'm doing it on a freaking flat gravel driveway.
Oh no.
And I'm trotting him. And he's lazy as all get out. And so he's a little bit behind me. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just like absolutely roll my ankle. Because I roll my ankle a lot, but this is like full sprain.
Oh no.
I felt the side of my foot flat on the ground and my leg was still vertical. Well, like while I was running.
Oh God.
And I was just like, oh my God. And then the pain kicked in.
It's like the initial shock, like something just happened to me.
Yeah,
What was
literally
it?
was like, how did I just do that?
Yeah.
Like there's not, and funny enough, there were 2 barn gals there also. And so they luckily, one of them took my horse because I was like hopping.
So you went down.
Not.
Like
Well, I didn't
did
fall.
you go down?
No,
Okay.
I didn't fall, but I felt something pop and I was like, holy mackerel. I could not put weight on it. I could not do. So I just hopped over to the side and Kelsey took my horse. And she's so sweet, but she
Thanks,
looked at the
Kelsey.
ground. She looked at the ground and she was like, I don't see anything. I was like, I know. That's the problem. Because I managed to sprain my ankle on a flat surface running. Like, I like running. And
I like running. But not when it's on gravel and I'm
can't
rolling my ankle.
I can't even run my horse.
Damn
like,
it.
We do lamenesses and trot horses like at least 5 to 8 times a day working. And Liz does all of that. And a lot of times we're in deep sand.
Yep.
Like rainers and cutters, all that, like deep sand. And so you're like running worse than running on a beach because it's not packed down. It's hard to run. Well, she should have been with me. So anyways, I was gimping around for several days and everything turned purple and black.
Oh,
and I still have kind of like a fat ankle, but
did you wrapped it?
yeah, I did. Oh yeah, that was a vet wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrapped it that day because I was like, this thing's not going to get swollen. So I like wrapped it so tight. And then that night I didn't want to like take my sock off.
Wrapped it.
So I just slept with it on.
Oh
and
my
then finally, and then I went and got a brace the next day.
Oh, good.
It was like definitely in need of some more TLC.
I'm so sorry
and
that
some
happened to
meloxicam.
you.
Thank goodness for meloxicam. Oh my God. Because actually I probably need imaging at some point, but I can walk. I just cannot, if things are uneven, it's like
You can take a picture of yourself.
incredibly painful. No, I think more soft tissue.
Yeah.
Like I didn't break anything.
Okay. Yeah.
I felt that. But
Right.
it's like,
Right.
it's an abnormal amount of
Ugh.
pain on the outside.
I'm
of
so
it.
sorry. That's the worst.
Be
It's
careful.
crazy how your
Be careful out there.
adrenaline kicks in, right?
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
just like,
Oh, yeah. And I had a full day
Dang.
of calls because that was the early call. Or I had a little slot and then Liz was meeting me. And
Oh,
so I didn't have
man.
to obviously do anything else besides walk that day, but it was very painful.
do you guys have a second tech?
Well, we do. She just was out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She's going to PA assistant school. And so
Oh.
she's doing her clinical rotations.
Oh,
But
nice.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to her.
yeah.
Shout out to Liz.
Yeah.
Hi, Liz.
And Liz for her
You're the
hard
best.
job. Apparently I cannot trot horses.
This is a weird question, but does Liz wear like boots?
Yeah, she
or
does
tennis shoes
have,
when she trots?
used to
'Cause-
wear cowboy boots and now we trot a lot. So now she has like those, I don't know what they are, crossovers. They're like
Yeah.
part boot, but they have
Oh.
ankle support and they're more athletic.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That was
But-
always my struggle. I was like,
I know. You
where am I running today? Do
Yeah,
I wear
right.
boots?
You
or
can't trot in cowboy boots that well.
it's the worst.
Yeah.
Or you
So-
feel so clunky and
Well, and that's what
It's still warm, but
she says her ankle strength now is so much better
Really?
after trotting
oh,
that
okay.
many horses. Because we trot a lot of horses.
Sorry, that's such a random
I
question.
know.
What kind of shoes
It
does
is
she wear when
random.
she trots horses?
It
It's
is
very
random.
niche.
You need good
Yeah.
good footwear for
Yeah.
trotting horses.
Right.
But yeah, that was
Oh my
that was my
God.
fun story
That
for
is crazy.
the week.
That is so crazy.
Well, yeah, today we have Dr. Erin Barker on with us today. Her and I met in my internship at Piedmont Equine in Virginia, Northern Virginia, in 2011. So we've been besties ever since. She's hilarious, and I'm super excited to hear her stories and all that.
Me too.
She's fun. So stay tuned, guys. This episode is brought to you by our friends at VetCS, your go-to for veterinarian-developed CBD and wellness products for your pets and horses. Founded by veterinary professionals, VetCS offers science-backed formulas made with premium hemp extracts to support calm behavior, joint health, and overall wellness, whether you're in the clinic or out at the barn. VetCS is all about helping animals live better naturally. Want to see what they're all about? Head over to vetcs.com to explore their full line of CBD products. Well, thank you for joining us, Dr. Erin Barker. We're so excited to have you today. I did give a little intro earlier, so just tell us more about yourself, the school and all that.
I'm a 2011 graduate from Tufts Vet School. I know Chelsea through my equine internship in Virginia that we did together for 1 year. And then after internship, I ended up moving back to my home state of Maine and actually transitioning over to small animal medicine, which was sort of forced because I couldn't find an equine job, but then ended up being in the long run kind of what I think was meant to end up doing. So yeah, I own my own practice. I opened up 2 years ago, actually in my hometown. It just kind of happened that way, but I opened my own practice after working at several different practices over the years. So yeah, now I'm a small business owner and trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah.
it can be a bumpy road,
Yeah.
but then it's fun, right? I don't know
Yeah.
if you've hit the fun part yet.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
a steep learning curve for sure. And then now that I'm like kind of getting the groove of it and getting the hang of it, it's really good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Did your dad help you out with that at all?
Yeah.
a
So my
veterinarian?
Oh, he
dad,
is?
my dad's a
Oh.
vet and my uncle's a vet. They're brothers and they're both vets. So
Oh, wow.
kind of a family tradition, I guess. My dad,
Yeah.
it's funny actually, he owned a practice and then he asked me when I was in vet school if I wanted to buy his practice. And I was like, no, I don't want to do small animal. Like, I'm going to do equine.
Yeah.
I don't want that thing. And so he sold it and then I ended up being in small animal anyway. But
Oh my
my
gosh.
dad actually really didn't like being a vet. He retired at 55 because he was like, I'm over it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Also deathly allergic
Okay,
to
yeah.
cats, so that was just miserable for him.
Really
Oh,
hard.
But yeah,
man.
he's
Really hard to work.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Work
like
with something
just
you're
like
allergic to.
dripping tears and snot like every
Oh,
cat appointment. So he was just like, I'm over it. But my uncle is also a vet and he loves it. Like he's never gonna retire. He's like 70 something
Cool.
now and just like a
Wow.
legend in the area. So he's opened and
Wow.
sold probably 4 or 5 practices. Like he really
Wow.
helped me
And he is
with the
small
business.
animal?
Yeah, small animal.
Okay.
So he helped
Okay.
me a lot.
Cool.
Yeah.
How nice. That's nice to have that support system that's so immediate and people that you trust and can be honest with you
Yeah.
and help you through
Yeah.
all the beginning stuff, right? That's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. He hasn't really worked at my practice very much yet. He just like left his other practice and is like retired again for like the 3rd time, but still working. He just keeps like opening new places, but he worked like a day at my practice and he had some good feedback, but he's like kind of the older generation of like churning out appointments. Like he sees like the volume of like 3 vets. Like he's just crazy and like he's like 5
Whoa.
minutes in and out of the room. And like that's just a little different than
Wow.
how I do it. Like my brain can't keep up with
Okay.
all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's crazy. He's awesome. He's like a really good resource
Yeah.
for me.
He must be a machine with notes. He's
Well,
like,
or
"Got
just
that
like,
many appointments
or just
already?"
like no notes, like
No
or
notes.
Notes,
or
yeah, that
none.
works.
It's
Yeah.
like
Limited notes.
WNL is like, okay, I guess that's all we're getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, my girls
Perfect.
were trying to
That's
like
right.
type for him because obviously he still used paper charts as well. So he doesn't really
Mhm.
use a computer. So they're like trying to do his notes. Yeah, it was interesting for everybody, but it worked. It
Oh, very
worked.
cool, though.
There are different ways to
Yeah, totally.
approach
Yeah.
I
veterinary,
know.
which is
And
it's kind of cool to see.
yeah, oh my God, he
Yeah.
has like a cult following of clients too. It's crazy.
That's
People love him.
awesome. Wow.
Yeah, he goes above and
That's
beyond to help
amazing.
anybody. Like he's really passionate about it. So yeah.
Okay.
Well, shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
him. He's a good one to be
Yeah.
related
Yeah.
to, I guess.
77.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, what do you feel like is your favorite part of small animal medicine?
Yeah, I like really ended up liking surgery a lot, and a lot more
Hmm.
than I thought I would, because like in school, right, they don't really teach us a ton, at least not where I went to school. Um, we
Agreed.
got like
Yeah.
basics, but then you're just kind of like on your own. And yeah, I had to learn a lot on the job. And I think in Maine, I'm not sure if it's like this where you guys live, but it's pretty rural and we don't have a lot of specialty hospitals. Like, especially when I first moved back to Maine in 2012, it was like there's maybe one referral hospital and it was 2 hours away from where I was working. So I felt like you really got to just like step up and do some hard stuff that maybe you wouldn't have done if you were like had the cushion of being able to refer. Like either people don't have the
Yeah.
money or they can't travel that far. But like I did some stuff that like older me is like, damn, she had balls to do that. Like not knowing what I was doing at all. Like
That's awesome.
my boss was very encouraging and I had a couple good mentors, so it was great. But it was like there was like a dog that had a foreign body and I was like, I'd never done one before. I've seen it, never done it. My boss was like, all right, go get your book and like go do it. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess. And it went fine, it went good, but it was just like the
Okay.
text. I'm like asking the text, like, turn the page, like, what do I do now? Like, just help me out. But yeah, I did like a PU on a cat, and I was like, I never thought in my
Whoa.
life I would do a PU. Like taking out eyeballs and cutting off legs and just like
Yeah.
learning on the
Yeah.
job. But like people, they really didn't have an option. So it's like, I can try to do this for you. Like, understand that I
Yeah.
haven't done a lot of them or any of them, but I'll
Yeah.
try. And most of the time it went well and worked out for the best. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. I mean, it
Well,
allowed
so
me to do a lot of stuff that I like wouldn't have thought I would have done.
the adage, right, is like see one, do one, teach one.
Mhm.
Right.
And so, but that's what I feel like in rural medicine, because that's how Wisconsin was, is
Yeah.
you don't get a chance to see one. You just
Yeah.
freaking like I just had the 5-minute consult out on every shift
Yes.
and literally was just like flipping through it and same thing. Like sometimes you gotta like scrub in and figure shit out when you get in there,
Right.
which is
Like,
really scary,
yeah, it is.
but
And
it
like,
gets better when
yeah,
repetition, I guess.
you don't want the owners to know that either. Like, and I
Right.
always hate
You
when
have
they
to
ask
remain
me like, how
confident.
many of these have you done? And I'm like, this is my first one. Don't worry
Getting
about
there.
that.
I've
Dabbled. I
I've
can
done other
figure it out.
things that are similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
also amazing testament to how amazing of a veterinarian you are. Like that is it takes a lot to step up and
Yeah.
do something like that and remain confident in the moment, communicate things to owners and do
yeah,
it well and it works out. So
yeah.
good
That's what I
job,
want, like
guys.
baby vets
Yeah.
coming out of school to know too, is that like you can do it. Like you have the skills, you have like all the ability when you graduate. You just like sometimes need a little encouragement or just like a little bit of
Yeah.
confidence to be like, yeah, I can learn to do that. Cause I feel like now there's a lot of people who are like, I hate surgery, I'm not doing it. I hate dentistry,
They
I'm
won't
not
do
doing it.
surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, huh.
In
And
small
they just
animal,
shut
there's
it out.
a lot of people won't do it. And I get it if it just causes you extreme anxiety and you can't like you don't want to do it, that's
Right.
cool.
Hmm.
But I feel like the trend is more towards like, I don't really want to do it, and then just like stop altogether versus like kind of pushing through the uncomfortable first few years where you're like getting those skills up. And I don't know, it's so needed. Like it's really still very much a necessary skill.
That's a great way to put it, actually, because I do see a lot of associates in small animal that do not want to do surgery.
Yeah.
And I happen to like surgery. It is very nerve-wracking
Mm-hmm.
at first, but you get through it and we have all the skills.
Yeah.
It is that, whatever that tipping point of uncomfortable versus anxiety. Like probably everybody
Right.
has some anxiety, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you just have to get through it. And then it's fantastic. You get
Right.
confidence and you can do it again and again. And then you're
Yeah.
helping animals versus there's a lot. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things that could be fixed and just get referred. And then the referral centers are so expensive. People can't do it.
Yeah.
And then the pets get
Yes.
put down.
It's
So I feel like
insane.
you may as well try, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like there's
But
some that are like a pyometra, which is like it's a spay, you know. Like honestly, I
yeah.
don't even mind it. It's like a little bit easier than a spay in some dogs, but like there's like they get quoted like $7,000 for a pyo spay, and I'm not even kidding.
Yes.
And you're
It's
like,
nuts.
look, some like a lot of people can't afford that, and they don't have pet insurance,
No.
and I don't blame them. Like I couldn't just drop that money. But yeah, having
Right.
another option, so like more people that are available to do the surgeries and willing to try, I think is really cool. Like I worked at a
Yeah.
shelter, like multiple shelters when I got out of school too, like just high volume, lots of spays, lots of neuters, like get my skills up and faster. So I felt better about it in like a little bit lower pressure
Yep.
situation in the shelter med. So, and I got to do a lot of cool stuff too, where like my first amputation was at a shelter because they just needed someone
That's
to do
cool.
it, or
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That is
yeah.
probably the best way to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is just like you said, low pressure. When you have a client that's
Yeah.
breathing down your back and maybe a different, you know, a difficult type of
Mm-hmm.
client or something, I think that only amplifies the situation. So if and
Yeah.
spay neuter clinics are super necessary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was some sort of, and there are tons of programs obviously to get
Yeah.
vet students more access, but even as a vet, like seek those out if you want
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, get faster, like you said. You don't
Yeah.
get skills without practice.
Hands
So
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You gotta just do it. But yeah,
yeah,
so I'd say I really
that's
like the
cool.
surgery side. I do a ton of dentistry.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that that's my favorite thing, but it's
Yeah.
also like so needed. And like we were taught like zero dentistry in school. I feel like everything I learned came from good mentorship and like
Yep.
CE. And now I feel okay about it, but it's just like, God, sometimes those extractions are like way more stressful than
There's
doing a big
yes,
surgery for
they
whatever
are.
reason. I
Yeah.
mean, teeth, like horse teeth are totally different ball game. I don't,
Yes.
do you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
extractions?
No
Do you do
way.
that? No.
No. I mean, wolf tooth.
Yeah.
If it gets into an incisor or a molar that's not like hanging on by a thread, then I will refer because I just find that you have to have the very specific instruments for each type of tooth and
Mm-hmm.
wedges and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
especially you get into a young horse molar extraction, it can be hours, 3 hours for one
Do you
molar.
remember that one in our internship that was like 2 days of
No,
the dentist like
no.
wiggling the tooth? He was
Oh,
like, that guy
2
was there.
days.
Like, it took like
Yeah,
2 days of getting that
that's
tooth out. I
crazy.
swear to God. It was like,
And I bet it did. Yeah.
he was being so patient and like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. I don't have the patience for
It's a
that.
patience thing. I say that every
No,
time I'm like
no.
working on a tough tooth root. I'm like, just be patient or you're gonna break it and it's gonna be worse. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that
Uh,
was crazy. I was like, I'm never doing that.
no, I mean, it
No,
takes a
thank
very
you.
specific kind of person. It's just like
Yeah.
repro for horses. It takes a very specific kind of person, and I'm
Hmm.
just not that. So,
Are
but I
there
do.
like
I think it's
specialists that do
fun.
it
Yeah,
like near
I mean,
you?
we're Front Range Denver. Like we're very lucky in that regard, as we have 3 or 4 referral centers and 2 are boarded.
Yeah.
You know, I won't say the prices are like we're in a high income area, and so the prices seem ridiculous to me. But we have the option for endodontics, and we can save incisors, and you know,
Hmm.
just do that the kind of upper echelon of care, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and then cool enough, we have a CT in literally 20 minutes from me.
Oh,
And
that's
so our
awesome.
skull rads generally on a horse are like $400. We can get a CT done for 800 and
Right.
get dental. I
Dang.
mean, all the dentistry, like the roots and the
Yeah.
sinus and all that
Hmm.
is unbelievable in terms of detail. And so we're finding a lot more things that I think we would have found later had we just been taking skull rads.
Yeah.
So
That's
Way
super
cool.
that
cool.
part's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know the technology is like changing all the time. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
makes it so much more rewarding to find things
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
and help
Yeah,
the
for
animals
sure.
earlier.
Right. Yeah.
So, Well, tell us maybe a fun story that you have from practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm a little bit of a magnet for like
Oh,
shit show stuff that happens,
yep.
unfortunately.
I would agree with
Yeah,
that.
like good. Yeah, you feel that? I don't know why. Um, More like just in my life too, in general. But at work, I guess I remember this case when I first got to my new job. There was this like Great Dane puppy that was out in the woods with its owner. This is like backwoods Maine, like nobody around. Like the practice is the only thing for probably an hour. Um, and the owner was cutting down trees, and the tree fell directly on the puppy, like on his skull, fractured his skull. He brings the dog in, and he's like, the dog is just like totally out of it, not really responsive, like the owner is like, I got no money, like do what you can to try to save him. I'm like, you really need to take him to one of these specialty hospitals that can keep
Oh
him for
my
24 hours,
gosh.
like do all the things. And he's like, I can't. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna rig this up and do what we can. So I just remember we were like MacGyvering like an oxygen line to put in like nasal oxygen for this
Yeah.
dog, and then like keeping him on IV fluids, and like I'm like flipping through my book trying to look up like head trauma. He had skull fractures. Like, how do I treat this? Like
Yeah.
on, as a GP trying to manage it.
Right.
So I'm calling the human hospital to get like hypertonic
Mannitol
saline
or
because we
something.
don't have
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And they're like, they give it to us, and like we do all this stuff. We keep the dog for like probably 2 or 3 days, and he comes out of it, and
What?
he lived and like wasn't like totally disabled afterwards. Like he
No
Wow.
was,
way.
yeah, he like lived, and like he grew up to be a good dog. And yeah, I just remember
So
it
you
was
got to
like
see him
so
later
crazy.
as an
Yeah, I got to
adult?
see him, like I was there for like 5 years, so I saw him like as he was growing, and like
Oh,
it
how
was really cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it was just one of those that was like, how do we manage that? Like
Yeah.
the techs were like willing to just like try, and like
Yeah.
it's just one of those like you just got to figure it out and like do
Yeah.
your best with it. And
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, so that was pretty crazy and like felt pretty good. But
I mean, that's a
yeah,
miracle that
That
a
is.
it was
tree can fall on a
like
puppy.
he was really
Dude.
really lucky. Yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Gosh.
he only had skull fractures, like he didn't fracture like his legs or anything, so I guess
Okay.
that was good. But yeah.
Huh.
Wow. And his
Yeah, so
eyes
that
were
was pretty
fine.
crazy. His eyes were fine. I
Weird.
mean, not at
Okay.
first. He was
Yeah.
like blind, and yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cortically blind.
not at
Yeah.
the
Okay.
beginning. But yeah,
Wow.
That's
that was
crazy.
pretty
Because
cool.
sometimes cases like that, if you're not there regular afterwards, then it's like, I wonder what happened to that
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
dog. And so that's cool
Yeah.
that you got to see
Yeah.
it later and just know that everything turned out great and way to
Yeah.
go. Huh.
Yeah, it felt really good to be like, okay, we did this, like we
Yeah.
can do this. But we had a lot of cases like that when I was at that hospital in particular. I feel like it was just sort of limited finances, limited
Yeah.
options. So we
Mm-hmm.
just had to kind of do it. We had a female mastiff that was in she's diabetic and ended up in DKA, so she's super sick, like wouldn't
Okay.
eat, couldn't get her regulated at all with insulin. Everything we were doing, just like nothing was working. And I guess when they're intact female, the progesterone blocks the insulin, so you like
Oh,
you can't ever get them regulated unless you spay them.
wow.
So we have this huge dog
Did you
that's
take a
like
DKA
not,
dog to surgery?
I spayed that dog.
I spayed
This
that
is
dog.
again where I'm like, I had way bigger balls back then than I do now, but I like spayed that dog. The next day, we're like, come on, like trying to feed her anything she'll eat. And like once you take the ovaries out, I guess apparently the progesterone starts to drop immediately, and they can start to
Wow.
like improve.
Is that fast?
Um, it's very fast. Like I
Hmm.
read everything I could on Vin about it to try to figure it out. But yeah, and then I remember the next day I was staying late. This dog wouldn't eat anything that we offered her, and I got Chinese takeout, and I was sitting at her kennel, and I offered her a dumpling, and she ate the dumpling
You're
and then
like, we
like
got
turned the
her.
corner.
The dumpling did it.
I was like, the
Aw.
dumpling saved the dog. I
Saved
was so
by
happy.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh
Her
my
Oh my
nickname needs
God.
to
God.
be Dumpling. Aw.
I know. And she was so sweet. I still think
Oh,
about her. But yeah, I was
oh
just
my
like,
God.
I don't know, this is our only option,
Yeah.
because she's, again, not going to go for referral. She's not going to get better if we don't do this. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it
Well, I
worked
also
out.
think that both those stories go back to what you can do in GP, which is really cool, is
Mm-hmm.
try.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what do you, I mean, without, you don't want a dog suffering or an animal suffering, but at the same time, if you don't try, like a lot of people would have probably put both those dogs
Mm-hmm.
down,
Mm-hmm.
and been like,
Yeah.
oh, this is too severe. Like
Yeah.
miracles do happen in
Right.
medicine,
Yeah,
it,
for sure.
it's wild. So it
Yeah.
just, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
support for people that think, it's time to put them down early. Because sometimes you do get
Yeah.
those outcomes. Yeah,
Yeah, you
give them a
can,
little
yeah,
time.
stuff has pulled through that I thought for sure would not make
Yeah.
it. But then, yeah, and then it goes the other way too. So
Well, it
it
definitely goes
happens.
the other
Yeah,
way.
for
But
sure.
Definitely
if
goes
the
the
dog's
other
not
way.
suffering, then
Yeah,
giving it 12, 24 hours to see if it'll turn around,
right.
and doing,
Yeah.
because that's in Wisconsin, we didn't have overnight staff. And so same thing as you, like
Mm-hmm.
we would just stay late and eat your dinner with the dog, or try to like,
Yeah.
try to get as much fluids as you could in them, and then, and turn them off for the night and come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd always warn
Yeah.
people, but that we were probably the same, about I don't know, 45 minutes to a referral center. But
Mm-hmm.
then the costs go up, and it's, can be exorbitant. And if you can't afford it, you might as well try at our clinic, a
Yeah.
GP clinic. So
Yeah.
And you probably saved more than you lost.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, we
probably.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a winning record.
Yeah, animals are amazing. Humans are too.
Well,
But
just,
like,
I mean, the body in general, without
Yeah.
any intervention at all, like just how the body works in
Yeah.
general is a miracle in
Yeah.
itself, right?
Yeah.
So, I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. Way to go.
Saving
And I don't know
lives.
if you feel this way,
Yeah.
Chelsea, but like as a vet, I feel like you get every phone call from everyone you know about any animal that is like
Yeesh.
injured or hurt, or you're feeling stuff all the time. But this is like not a good outcome story, but
Okay.
it's, I don't know. I always try to help, but
Okay.
sometimes it doesn't go well. So I play in a beach volleyball league with my girlfriends on Tuesday nights, and the girls called me. They're like, "Hey, there's a chipmunk stuck in this like trap at this guy's house. Like, can you come get it? And like, it's still alive." And I'm like, "Okay, like that's not good." But
No.
I come, and his little head is like stuck in the trap, and I was like, "It's
Oh.
okay." Like I take it out, and I'm like, "Okay, he's like pretty bad off. I think he probably just needs to be euthanized or put out of his misery, whatever." It's like, I will take him back to my clinic and I will put him down. And he was so out of it. I just had him in like a little bucket. I'm driving, and he wakes up and gets loose in my freaking car. He runs under
No,
the drive.
I
He
would
runs under the
die.
driver's seat.
No, he
It's like under
doesn't.
my seat, and I'm like, I'm feeling around. I like can't get it. And then I get home, and my husband's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "There's this goddamn
Must be
chipmunk, and it's
fucking
loose in my
chipmunk in
car,
my car.
and it crawled under my seat. It's gonna die under there, and it's gonna stink. Like I gotta get it out." So I'm like trying to move my seat and like reach in there, and I put my phone in there so I can see where it is, and he's tucked way in. I had to like cut the carpet
Oh,
out of my under my seat, which is probably not safe, and like fish this thing out. So I finally like get a hold of it, and I grab it, and I'm trying to just like gently get him out, like, "Come on, get out." And I pull my hand out, and his whole tail like degloved in my hand. So I have chipmunk tail like in my hand, and I was like, "Oh my God." So I like throw that on the ground, and I go back in. And I finally like pull him out by like his little legs, and that little fucker, like
did
I
he try
get
to
him
bite
out,
you?
and he took off into the woods.
Oh
So he
my
like ran off into
God.
the woods to
What
go
gets
die a
you?
terrible,
Yeah.
I thought you were
but
going
like
to say
no
he like
tail.
bit your hand when you were reaching
Yeah.
underneath or something. I was
Yeah,
not
I'm
expecting a
shocked that he
degloving.
didn't. I had like a glove. I had a glove on my hand, but oh my God, he like took off, and I was like, great, now he's just gonna go
Nope.
die
Now he's gonna go die
a
a
more
miserable
miserable death.
death. Oh,
Yeah, sorry, like
maybe he's
sorry, dude.
alive.
Oh, you tried. You tried so hard.
I tried so hard. But I was like, this poor thing. I just like tortured it for like 2 hours.
The tail
And
is
then
amazing. Oh my
it
Maybe
was
goodness.
he
Maybe
awful.
it's
It
like a
was like,
rabbit. Oh, it's a rabbit's leg that's lucky. Not a
Right.
chipmunk
Not a
tail.
yeah,
chipmunk.
Maybe a
Chipmunk
tail
tail.
is
Did you
lucky.
save it?
bad luck. No, it was
Oh.
like, it was laying on the ground next to my car.
Oh.
And like the next day I came out, and Mason, my husband, had like put it on my floor mat.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was like, dude, sorry, I tried. I don't know. Like, don't call me next time.
Trying
But
to
yeah,
trying to save all the animals.
just
Seriously.
trying
Oh
to do
my
my
God.
best.
Well, you raised,
Um,
wasn't it? Is it rabbits or what do you raise?
Oh.
I mean, you raised kind of
I
some like
fostered
wildlife.
squirrels.
Yeah, squirrels.
Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
really?
I
Oh,
help the
cool.
wildlife center. Yeah, I foster lots of squirrels. I love them. I love possums. We had a client call us, and she's like, "I found," or no, it wasn't even a client, someone who was like, "I found a dead possum on the side of the road, like 20 minutes from our clinic." And she said, "I called this wildlife place, and they said to call you and that you would help." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "There's babies in the pouch. You
Oh.
know, Opossums
Yeah.
are marsupials, if people don't know
Yes.
this. And the babies are in the pouch like a kangaroo, and they can have a lot of them in there. And so if the mom dies, like the babies can still be alive. So she put it in a box on the side of the road, and she said, I called animal control, like no one's coming to get it. And I was like, okay, I'll go have someone pick it up. So we pick up the box and we get it to the clinic, and it says dead possum.
Oh my
Do not,
gosh.
she like wrote like dead possum, do not touch, live babies. It was just like
Dead
so aggressive.
possum.
So she had like put it in there, and the mom is like definitely dead.
Oh,
And I just start pulling these little babies out of the pouch, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I
no
was like, oh my
way.
God, like 8 little babies in there.
You have to
And
bottle
then
feed
I
all
lift up
these,
the
right?
pillowcase, and there's another one in the pillowcase, like
Oh
hiding. There were
my
9 babies.
gosh.
Yeah,
9
it was
babies.
crazy. And
Wow.
they were little,
Oh
like
my
30
God.
grams and like
Oh,
very small.
so
So you have to tube
tiny.
feed them.
You have to tube feed.
So I'm like, yeah, tube
Oh
feed
my
them. Because the nipples on a possum are like super long.
God.
I don't
Okay.
know. It's weird. They're weird. But they don't take well to like
Yeah. Oh,
like nursing
fake.
off a
Yeah.
bottle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So you tube feed them. Yeah. So like some of them had little injuries, and I was like, okay. And I tube fed all 9 of them. Like in the middle of my workday, I'm like, this is not what I need right
Yeah.
now. But I'm a sucker. I can't not help. I don't know.
Yeah. You are
So
a
yeah,
sucker.
so I
Yeah.
fed them all, checked on them in like an hour, and like 3 were dead. And I was like,
Okay.
oh.
Oh,
So I was down to 6, and then I was like tube feeding them every couple hours until the wildlife center could take them, which was like the next day.
Oh
So
my
like
God.
tube feeding these possums all night.
So you took them home
And
with
then the
you.
other 6, like, yeah, they stayed alive.
Oh,
Yeah, I woke up at night, fed them.
oh, you're the
And then
best.
my
that's okay.
husband,
So
God bless my
sweet.
husband, he drove them down to the wildlife center, and they like dropped them off. And I don't know. In my mind, they're all living very happy
They're all
Yeah.
happy.
possum lives
Yep.
now. So
With
they
the
all made it.
Yeah.
with the no-tail chipmunk.
Yeah, with
they're
him just
they're
running
in
in
a
the woods.
gang.
Yeah, they're
He's
in a
still
gang.
alive.
They
Yeah,
run around.
he's still alive too. He's a survivor. That
Yeah.
one for sure.
That one is a
Yeah.
survivor for
Yeah,
sure.
he's a scrappy little guy. He'll make it.
Oh God, I
Yes.
didn't know you had to
That's
tube
crazy.
feed them. That's wild. Like NG or oral?
Yeah, just like oral.
Oral.
Yeah,
So just a little
they
extension.
do pretty
Yeah.
well with it.
Wow.
Yeah, like a little tiny red rubber,
Okay.
and like boop down there, and
Wow.
mhm.
Well, at least it's
Tube
faster.
feed a
I
lot of
guess.
stuff. Actually, I work with like cleft palate
Oh,
dogs
yeah.
rescue a lot.
Yeah. Cool.
And like kind of the old mentality was like they got to be put down, they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You know, like vets will euthanize them right away when they're born with a cleft. But actually, a lot of them, if you can get them through the nursing phase, they can grow up and be
Like solid food.
fine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, solid food. They don't need surgery. Like they can live a pretty good
Wow.
life. Like I have one that my dog Booger, who is like a meatball. He has a
Okay.
huge cleft palate, and you would never
And
know.
you would never
but
know. He's
yeah,
I
quite-
love his
never know.
name. Aw.
so I'm very good at tube feeding all the
Oh,
things.
What
my
type of
gosh.
dog is he? What breed is he?
He's a exotic bully.
Oh,
If you've
my.
never heard of
No.
it, you should Google it.
Okay.
But it's like a frog-looking French bulldog thing.
Interesting.
So it's a Frenchie crossed with a English crossed with a pit bull.
Okay.
So he's
Oh.
like 50 pounds,
Yeah.
but just like burly.
Yeah.
Meatball. Yeah.
He's the sweetest dog ever.
Oh my gosh. Did
Very
you get him
cute.
because of
Mhm.
the cleft palate? And you kept
Mhm.
them?
They're a very popular breed when I was down in Virginia for whatever reason. There were tons of them. And the breeder was like, I don't want him. He was a day old. So I've had him forever.
Oh,
And
you took him at a day
he's-
old?
yeah,
Oh,
because they can't stay with
Well,
mom.
yeah.
They will like
Yeah, they
aspirate
would
the milk.
aspirate, yeah.
And mhm.
good for you.
Yeah, so-
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, the rescue, like shout out Compassion for Canines
Okay.
in Virginia. They do a ton with clefties, and they're amazing.
That's
So
I
crazy.
love that.
I helped her a lot when I was down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
It's cool.
wild. I didn't know they could do well, actually. so
Very
that's great.
cool.
Yeah, they can do great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to like spread the word.
Yeah.
Save the
Yeah.
clefties.
There you go.
Yeah.
Education piece.
I know. I love that. I'm a part.
Yeah.
I have a 10-month-old Old English bulldog, and I'm a part of just a
Yes.
couple Facebook groups and all of that. And there was a little
Mhm.
Clefty on there 2 days ago, actually. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And he does like, I think he was like 70 pounds. Like he was pretty darn big.
Mhm.
And
They do great.
they were like, we've had him the whole time, and he does really well. And you know,
Mhm.
everybody shares pictures and updates and stuff. But
Mhm.
I thought he was so cute. So that's neat that you brought that up. I love it.
Did he have the nose? The
He
cleft
did,
nose?
yeah, kind of. Yep.
Yeah.
The like little
That's
S
cute.
mark or whatever. But
Yep.
yeah, he was so cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I
baby.
know.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love them.
I know.
Chelsea, I was gonna ask you, have you ever been involved, this is a change of
Yeah.
topic, but I was thinking about it. Have you ever been involved in a human emergency where you had to like help
Oh
out?
my God.
Good
Because
question.
I'm a magnet for that crap
You
too.
do. I
No way.
would bet you do. No, because I'm not as much of a magnet,
I
but I multiple times on planes, they'll call for somebody and I'm like, oh my God, please somebody be a nurse or
Oh,
something.
really?
Yes. And usually like I've not had to assist. I can't, no, I don't
Do you
think I've
volunteer?
had a human thing. Yeah. I want to hear one of yours at least.
Yeah, so I'm a magnet for human stuff too, unfortunately. But the funniest one is there's some that are sad, but some that are funny. But the funny one is when I was out to lunch with my friend Stev. She's a technician, works for the shelter. We're like catching up, getting lunch together. We're sitting at this restaurant and she's like looking over my shoulder and she's like, I think that woman behind you is choking. And I was like, oh, really? And I like turn and I see this like older woman and her friend trying to like give her the Heimlich and like sort of trying. And then she's like, I can't do it. Like, I'm not tall enough. And my friend Steph was like, go help
yeah.
her. Like, you're tall, go help
You're
her.
tall.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm
Oh my
doing. Like,
God.
I'm like, okay. So I like get up and nobody else in the restaurant is doing anything or getting
my
up or
God.
like calling
Wow.
911. And so I like start like Heimliching this old lady and I had to do it like so hard to get the whatever it was out. And Stev, my friend, is thankfully calling 911, but this woman is turning
Oh,
blue. And I'm like,
Oh
if
my God, that's
she
terrifying.
like if she can't breathe and I can't get this out, like I don't know
you
what I'm
have to
gonna do.
trach
So
her.
I'm trying really
You're-
hard.
Yeah.
And then I'm like slap her on the back really hard at one point. Like I'm just like, I don't know
Yeah.
what to do.
No way.
And I'm in my scrubs, so like I know people think I know what I'm doing, but I'm like, I'm a vet. I'm not a human
Yeah.
anything. Like leave me out of it. And everybody else just standing there watching.
Come
And I'm like,
on.
okay.
Wild.
So I get it. I finally get
Okay.
it. She coughs it out. I'm like, great. She inhales it again, and I have to do it again.
Why did she
And I was
inhale
like,
it again?
lady,
So
spit
it came
out.
in
I don't
her
know. It was
mouth,
like in
and
her
then she
mouth.
probably
And she
was
was probably
like freaked out.
Back
Oh
down.
my
Yes, got it back.
God.
So I got it out again, thank God. And she's like, okay. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I hate being the center of attention. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, you almost
well, like,
died.
chew your food.
Chew your food, like
I almost died. And then she like sits down and just keeps
No
eating her
way.
lunch.
Not
And I'm
keep
like, if
eating.
I almost died, I would probably excuse myself and go home.
Seriously.
Like
Would
she was like,
1000% go home.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the type that
and
like
then
needs to
like
like
we
sit there.
hadn't
Quiet.
we hadn't even eaten our lunch yet. So like we had to sit there and like wait for our food to come and like this woman behind me who had like just
And
choked
hope she doesn't
and
like
like wait for our
inhale a
food.
big bite again.
Dude.
Yeah, and then we're like eating our lunch trying to act like that wasn't the craziest thing that ever happened to both of us.
I'd be like, can I get this to go? Time for me to
Yeah, I was
leave
like,
the area.
wow, I can't believe that just happened. And
Crazy.
yeah, Steph was like, yeah, wow.
Oh my God.
And so then the restaurant gave us free lunch, which was
that is
nice.
nice.
Aw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saved a
Yeah.
human life.
Look at you.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
Wow.
I know, it was wild. So I feel like I learned in like, did we learn in like middle school
Yeah,
or like high
yeah,
school, like
first
how to
aid.
do the Heimlich? I don't
Yeah.
know.
And movies, I
I don't
guess.
know. I was cranking on that lady. She was probably really sore.
Well, but that's the thing.
But
It's,
she's
it's better to, I mean, even if you break ribs or like
That's what you
CPR and
gotta
stuff,
do, I
like
guess.
just do the CPR and you can figure
Yeah.
out ribs later.
Yeah.
Like save the person.
Yeah.
Right.
My Mason at 3 freaking inhaled a quarter. And that like was the perfect size. And I
no.
didn't know he even had one. But he was outside and I mean, Addie's 3 right now. So you do just have to keep an eye on him all the time. But had he been like a little bit older, like I don't know what would have happened.
Oh my gosh.
But he was, what is that, 35 pounds maybe at that point. I had to flip him
Yeah.
upside down and hit his
Yeah.
back so hard because I started lightly and then
Yeah.
I started freaking out and I was like, oh shit, this thing is
Yeah.
large. And I had to, I mean, I can't
Yeah.
imagine with a lady, like an older lady, especially because that's even more weight,
Mhm.
like how much force it takes. But I had to hit his back hard
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
and it
Aw.
flew out.
That's so scary though. And you're like, that's my kid. And
Yeah.
I like gotta save. Like,
I don't
what do
know. You just go
We
into
have,
like parent mode.
Gotta do it.
My husband freaked out. Like, well,
Right.
we have 2 kids, but our smallest, we have 6 de-chokers in our house.
You do?
Yes. So
Oh, those like the
yeah,
suction
and we
things?
have
Ooh.
them.
They, like,
Yeah,
pull
he
it
like
out?
put them upstairs, and
Swifted it?
yes, we
Oh.
call my husband the risk assessor.
Yeah.
So he like
That's his.
You would
nickname.
never
I love
know it
that.
if
You would
met him,
never
though.
know.
He's not like you don't think he's like super anxious or anything.
Right.
but he's,
Super
like,
chill, easygoing. But
yeah.
he's a
He
risk
thinks about
taker.
stuff.
He's prepared.
Yes. So we have the dechokers and all of that.
Oh.
But yeah, we've never had to use them. I
Okay.
think the only thing that I've ever had
Yeah.
to do was I was working at the equine clinic and I get a call from my daughter's school what grade was she in? Probably maybe 3rd grade. Like she was younger, but she's 13 now. She's a whole teenager, but she was 3rd grade at the time. And the school nurse goes, hi, I have Kaya up here and she has a rock in her ear. So you might need
Oh,
to
no.
come and we cannot get it out. I don't want to push it in further. So I grabbed some hemostats from work and I took them in there and
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
just stay still. And I popped it out while she
They
was
couldn't have done that?
Oh, wow.
No, they didn't want to touch it. The
Oh,
school
so
nurse
they
was
didn't
like, I
even
don't want to touch
try.
it. No. And so
Oh.
I just brought some low grip.
Schools won't do anything.
No,
guess
that
not.
she was
Not
just like,
into
I didn't
doing
want to push it
anything.
in and make it worse, whatever. So I just kind of
Yeah.
like grabbed the rock out.
Did you go home then or go back to work?
She went back to school and I went back to work. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. How'd you get her to hold still? Did you
I
sedate
literally-
her?
some-
I feel like my kids
No,
would not hold
sometimes I
still.
I hold the bottom and I'll look at my kids and be like, don't freaking move. Like, this is serious. Do not move. Like, I'll be kind of firm and, and
She's
just get
got-
it done.
Yeah.
You
you
got
know?
animal restraint.
Yeah,
for
that's,
sure.
yeah. It's come in handy a few
seriously.
times.
The RVT tech restraint.
Yeah,
My
Yeah.
kids would
you know.
not cooperate. My pug actually choked on watermelon one time, and like I was like, I don't know how to do
doggy
doggy
Heimlich.
Heimlich. I
Like the rind?
realized.
The rind.
Yeah.
Was he eating the rind?
It was like a big piece. Mason was giving the dogs watermelon, and then all of a sudden he's like, "What's wrong with Marla?" And she's laying on the ground, like pissing herself, like paddling her little legs, and just
Gosh.
like turning purple. And I'm like, she's choking. So I like pick her up and just like whack
Yeah,
her. Same thing,
yeah.
just like whack her on the back, like really hard, like try to pump her little tummy, like a Heimlich on a dog. I don't know. And she like coughs it out. Thank God. It was okay, but he just like doesn't react. He's like, huh. She doesn't look right. And I'm like, she's like
She's literally
seizuring.
dying.
When they start urinating.
Yeah, that
She
is
is
bad.
dying. Yeah, the fact that she like peed herself, I was like, oh my
How?
God. She's just laying on this. Yeah, it was
Sometimes
bad.
and he's
That
a
poor
dentist.
pug.
Like he should,
Oh,
yeah.
He's
like,
a dentist.
he's a dentist.
he should know. Come on.
Not that that would make him like
Oh my-
recognize dog choking, but
wow.
like the standard is a little higher than just like somebody who doesn't know
Oh
anything
my
medical,
gosh.
right? Like,
Right.
Oh,
I don't know.
same thing with same kid, my daughter standing in the kitchen the other day and she's like getting grapes in a bowl, right? And the bulldog is a Hoover.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna he'll
Oh,
be a
no.
foreign body rock, survivor at some point. I just know it. So I'm always like eyes on him all the time. And he's behind baby gates and I'm shuffling him around. Like I'm always on top of it. But I hear this in the kitchen. She's like, are grapes bad for dogs? And I was like,
Oh, no.
so I like run in there and I pry his mouth open. I just shake its head real fast, and these grapes just start like run. And I was like, "How many fell off the counter?" She's like, "I think it was 3." And I was like, "Great!" So there's 3 grapes that came out, like shaking his, and they're just like coming out of his mouth. I'm like,
Hang him
Yeah, I'm
upside
like,
down. Get out.
so now it's time for the crepe. You get to go have a little nap.
Damn it,
Jesus.
Arthur.
There's so many people that don't know the grape thing either. Like I
yeah.
have these clients that they adopted a puppy from the rescue I work with, and they're kind of like family friends. They bring us this lovely, like huge batch of grapes. And I was like, oh, do you grow these at your house? And they're like,
Oh.
yeah. And I was like, so Bella, like, she can't get to them, right? And they're like, oh, they grow all over the deck and she loves to eat all the ones that fall on the ground. And I was like, this dog is going to die.
God.
I was like, well, we need to check some
He's
blood
like, yeah,
work
Wow.
and make sure she's not
That's
in
gonna be
kidney
fine.
failure. And she's
Yeah.
fine. She's eating them like every day, and I guess she's fine. But they were just like, oh, she's not supposed to eat those? I was like, no, she's not
Wild.
supposed to eat tons and tons
Wow.
of grapes every
Wow.
day. That's bad. I was like, one could be
Yeah,
bad.
Yeah,
right.
you never know.
You
That's
don't
what's
know.
crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
we're all
that's-
different.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. But she's a survivor, so good for
This is
her.
good. This is like the Survivor episode.
It is.
I like
I
this.
like it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not real life.
All the
Yeah, it's not
survivors
real
out
life,
there.
But I like this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
It's
Me
not.
too.
They're not all like this. Oh God.
Speaking of bad, like poor parenting on my part, my kid ate dishwasher
No.
cleaning pots all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, why did they do
Hazel
these
did,
things?
yeah. She was like 2, And like, I don't know, I thought we had the kitchen cabinets locked up or whatever. And I was doing something in the living room and she comes over and I was like, God, why do you smell so much like lemon?
Oh.
And I go in the kitchen and they're all over the
No.
floor and they contain like a really like oily, like whatever it is, lemon cleaning stuff. And I don't know how many she ate, but she was like, ugh, like, like drooling.
God.
Like she chewed them. And so she just reeked of lemon. So I called poison control and they're like, as long as she didn't inhale it, like she's probably okay, but make sure she's like can breathe and didn't aspirate it. I'm like, well, I don't know how I would do that, but
isn't it crazy how kids and animals
I guess
are
if
so
she's
similar? And you're like,
Just don't do that.
my daughter ate an
Yes.
ornament. Same kid. She's
Just
going to be like,
stay
why
out
are you
of
talking about
trouble.
me on your podcast so much today? And she's all, but I think she was 3, maybe 2 or 3. And it was Christmas time and I was just literally like tale as old as time, but I was around the corner making cookies. Like 2 seconds I was gone to take them out of the oven. I come back around the corner. She freaking had gotten an ornament that fell off the tree and it was broken and she's eating it. Like it was not like, not the, straight up. So it was not the glass. It's like the, it's like a different material. I forget what it was, but it's all over her mouth, all over her lap. And I freaking, same thing, pull her over, but I'm trying to like pull it, holding her mouth again, trying to get it out. But I didn't know if she actually swallowed any. So whole trip to the hospital and they, do all the things and she didn't end up actually eating a lot of it. But the nurse comes in, she's like, oh, Kaya, oh, it's the ornament eater. Like, that's us.
Like, that's not good. Not good to be known for that.
No, but kids and animals are.
Why would you even want to eat that?
I don't get it.
Why is that
I don't know. I have
appetizing?
no idea. I literally am not joking. It was like 2 minutes. Like the same thing that everyone else. I was gone for just a second. That's what it was. It was crazy.
All our stress wrinkles and
gray
hair.
They're coming.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, children. Yeah.
Why are you like this?
Keeping them alive every day.
They're so sweet, but man.
How many kids do you have? 2.
I have 2. They are 4 and almost 6. So the younger boy, older girl.
Cute.
Yeah. But they are trouble, man. They, especially right now, they are getting into everything.
Now
and
they
being
know.
sneaky about it too. Like
that's the age.
They know where the snack drawer is. And I like went downstairs to the playroom and I was like, where are all these fruit snack wrappers coming from? And like, how'd you guys get those? They're just taking it and not saying anything. I'm like, very sneaky.
Yeah.
Start watching them. Yeah. And they're asking a lot of questions right now too. Like my older one, especially.
Oh, babies.
Like the hard to answer questions. How does a baby get in your belly? And then driving to school yesterday, she's like, how does a baby get out of your body? And I was like, well, like sometimes you need to have surgery to get it out. And she's like, yeah, but how does it normally come out? And I was like, she's like, do you spit it out? And I was like, no, don't spit it out. And I don't know how to say. Easier. I was like, it comes from like down by your bottom. And she's like, your privates? And I was like, yeah, your privates. I was like, please don't ask me these questions.
Like, oh, look, an airplane. I just keep it anatomical and I just say it how I'm just like, this is what it is. Or I'll just find an educational YouTube video that's they're age related. Like I've done that a few times. I'm like, here, watch this video. It's educational video.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. I mean, like she knows what a vagina is, so I guess I should say it.
It is hard. It is weird.
I love the thought she thought
getting it out is a good one. That would be so much easier.
Like you puke it.
Puke a baby.
Like
I love it.
Just like and they always like bring it up in the weirdest times. Like they catch you off guard, and you're doing something normal and they're like, why is this way? And you're like, I don't fucking know. I'm not sure.
And like so loud and in public usually, and you're like, okay.
Oh my God, they come out of a vagina.
Stop embarrassing me.
They wait for a good time.
I know. I love them.
Great.
They're great. They keep me on my toes, that's for sure.
Never bored. We're all never bored.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for.
Yeah, they're all kind of similar ages.
Have this. And
my daughter's 13 this year, and then my son is about to turn 5. So I have a little bit of both worlds going on, but I also have a very special helper in her. So she's like the best big sister ever. She's just the best.
Yeah.
So the
best.
That's true.
It's great.
And Chelsea, you have your little
she's
girl.
3.
How old is she
3,
now?
7, and 9.
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
crazy.
Are the boys like helpful with her?
They were
Are
for
they
a
like good big
while. Now they're
brothers?
like off doing their own things. They just, I mean, now they have like neighborhood friends and they
Yeah.
just go to the park
Yeah.
and play with their friends. It's funny actually because the boys' friends are like so doting on Addie, like multiple groups of boys. And they love playing
Sweet,
with
yeah.
her. So then what's funny and scary is I already see her like gravitating towards their friends and being like, when are they coming over? When are they blah, blah, blah? As if they're like coming just for her.
Just for her.
But- But Brett's all worried because he's like, oh my God, older. Like eventually it's gonna be older boys. If she's playing
Older
playing
boys.
with her brother's friends all the time and older boys. And I'm like, honey,
We've
got at least 10
so
years.
many more.
Maybe
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. They
9.
Yeah, 13, they're like
Yeah.
boyfriend, girlfriend at school, like it's like this person was together for 5 minutes, but then they broke up at lunch because
Yeah,
they
'cause
just
they
didn't
had
like
a-
each
they
other
had a
anymore.
fight,
Like
yeah.
it's, stuff like that. But yeah, the risk assessor, my husband is in it thick, right? He's like extra, he's like, it's coming. Yes, we'll
It's
see
always
how
the
that goes.
husband.
Yeah.
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 She'll do great.
It is cute how the older ones love the little
Oh,
ones.
another
They're
Hi,
like,
Shanna.
oh, hi.
Yeah, they do a good job together. So but no, it's fun. Well, thank you, Dr. Barker, for all your time today.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
It was
Yeah.
so great to talk to
fun.
you. Thanks for everything.
Good to
Yeah.
good to
that
catch
was
up.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
See you later.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and follow us for all the latest updates. Unhinged and On Call isn't just a podcast. It's a lifeline for every veterinary professional barely holding it together with vet wrap and caffeine. Somewhere out there, another tech, vet, or assistant is deep in the same chaos, dodging poop, managing meltdowns, and wondering if they're the only one unraveling. You're not. Whether you're laughing or crying or rage cleaning your truck, you've got a whole tribe behind you. You're unhinged, but never alone.